what the end goal is and what your final goal and point you want to reach, that could vary. But life in itself is a competition. Are you going to show up every day and do your best? The story tracks these 6 lions who were brothers and how they came up from when they were cubs all the way till their demise. The lions ruled from around 2006 to 2012. And during their reign, they were vicious, they were brutal, but they also were very fond of one another. And the reason behind this podcast episode is I've had this on my mind after hearing their story. And one thing that continued to ring true for me is competition in life is necessary. We all are competing, even if we don't know it yet. Part of being someone who thrives in life is understanding the reality of life. Watching these videos and hearing the stories of these lion prides in Africa hit home with me because it showed the true nature and the true instincts of these creatures. And it made me think about the climate of everything that we have going on in life. We have savagery, we have compassion, we have family and family ties and the bond that you share between your family and people you are close to, and commitments to the group. You have death, you have life. There's so many ties to what goes on the Serengeti, what goes on in Africa, on the plains between these creatures and their adversaries and fellow lions. It blew my mind just watching the story, seeing how vicious they are. And it made me realize that we deal with a lot of the same things in life, in our reality. And some people are blinded by the modern conveniences we have, by the fact that you have a job that you go to or you have a way to earn a living. But with that being said, we still are competing. Inherently, part of being a living creature, being a human being, is competing. The fact that you are here is a miracle. Everybody who has been birthed is a warrior and a winner, because just to be conceived and to be alive is you're one in millions and millions of possibilities to even be here. So if this is your first time listening, I am your host, Monte Lee. This is the Carrot Juice Podcast. And I wanted to make sure that today I spoke about the message of competition and how important it really is in life. Don't forget that. That's what I want you to leave with here today. So, housekeeping. Do me a favor. If you enjoyed this podcast, you enjoyed the content that I'm putting out, please rate and review the podcast, please. 5-star, 5-star, 5-star. Share it with a friend if you feel so inclined, if you think they would get value out of it. Here on the podcast, I provide commentary and perspective on popular culture, things I find interesting. We talk about dating here and there. I also add in true crime if I think it's worth covering. And I also will add in productivity tips if you want to know how to be more productive and, hey, maybe even start a podcast yourself. So without further delay, I don't want to waste your time. So I'm going to get right into the content. Competition. Why does it exist? Biologically, I would say competition is hardwired into nearly every living creature. It's a biological imperative. I know you've heard before, only the strong survive. The stronger creatures, like if you've seen it like in birds, for example, a lot of the times you'll see if there's a hatchling of birds, the mother is going to get food or the parents are going to get food. They bring food back. If one of the hatchlings is stronger than the other hatchlings, it will take the food before that other hatchling. And over time, if the other hatchling is weaker and smaller, the mother won't feed the other hatchling because it knows inherently it has a least of a chance of survival. Now, I know that's a bit crude, but what I'm starting to understand and know is, as a human being, you have to compartmentalize the human experience and realize, hey, we don't all have the same set of skills. We don't all have the same set of abilities, strengths, and weaknesses. But once you make it here and once you're here on Earth, we all are competing. What the end goal is and what your final goal and point you want to reach, that could vary. But life in itself is a competition. Are you going to show up every day and do your best? Are you going to try to be the best version of yourself each and every day? That's what I want you to think about. And that's the mentality that I think gets lost in the culture where everybody is trying to just pass out participation trophies for people, when inherently part of the human experience and part of your journey is going through obstacles, struggling sometimes, not having it all figured out. I think that gets lost nowadays, and it's important.